Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Wow. I'm gonna do this example again to find out age 35 in the Rate the Monster episode later, but it's like now when I see his message, I find it more and more amusing, kind of funny, but amusing and scary because I think men like him, men who maybe okay, I don't want to be mean because I was going to be real petty, but maybe some people who have not witnessed a variety of different types of relationships or the relationships that they've been in, maybe they haven't evolved or been deep enough for them to learn who they're compatible with and who they're not compatible with. It's like some people say that I'm stuck up or shallow and whatever you want to think, but if that's what you want to think, hey, everyone has an opinion. I But at the same time, have you listened to the episodes? I give you example after example of what I've been through and how I have created my standards. I used to date men that were in prison. Some of them were in prison more than once. I've Mr. Lockakey never got his high school diploma. And the only reason he went and got his GED is because the judge said she was going to put him in jail if he didn't. And so first he was going to high school class. But then he dropped out of that because he said he was tired of all of these kids and it's like they were stupid and the teacher was stupid and blah, 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 whatever. So then he had to take his GED test twice to pass, and the special candy and like his addiction and all, like, once I was halfway done with my second master's, like I've explained how he at first love bombed me because at first I saw him on Plenty of Fish. I was not impressed by him. I was not interested in him whatsoever. But he kept writing me. And yeah, I could have blocked him, but I don't know. I think it was the love bombing. And at the same time, a lot of the black men that I was trying to not even pursue, just get to know to see if they were worth pursuing. Oh, what kind of man would want a smart woman? Oh, if you're gonna date me, you better drop out of grad school. I don't want no educated woman. Oh, you're just gonna be a headache. You're gonna be a waste of time. Oh, you're just gonna try to take my crown. I'm the king of this, blah blah blah. So there's countless of things, but it's crazy how men expect women to just be as little or just they don't want us to pursue our goals and dreams. And a lot of them have excuses of why they won't go after their goals and dreams because he was always telling me, I'm too old, I'm too old. And I'm looking at it like, okay, like, it's funny how men only say age ain't nothing but a number when they're trying to date a woman outside of their age range. But anything else, they blame age. So I don't, it's frustrating. But then with Mr. No Heart, same thing happened. And it's like, remember, Mr. Lockakey dropped out of high school. Mr. No Heart dropped out of college. His mother was the one that said, the only reason I got into college is because I'm black. But her son dropped out. And more of her children never finished college. But yeah, she wants to say only because I'm black. But whenever I got another job position and when I wanted to start a business, it's like him and I, Mr. No Heart and I, we actually started a business together. But then I found out his male friends at his job and his male roommate and family members were telling him, be careful. You don't want to start a business with a woman. She's going to start feeling like she has power. She's going to start feeling like she's somebody. You better cut that off as soon as you can. Yeah, even if it's making any, oh, he was making money. Even if it's making you money, you better stop that. You don't want her feeling like she's empowered. And he still has some of the equipment. I'm still working on like my strength and everything so that I can go and get the stuff and hire people and movers in a U-Haul so I can get the equipment. But he was so determined to ruin my goals and dreams because, oh yeah, his bank account, his credit score, and his money management was so terrible. He had no money. So when he, because, and the funny thing, it was his idea to start this business. I've always wanted to start a business. I want to start more than one business, which is why now it's like, as you can tell, I'm doing YouTube. I'm writing my novels and my children's books and my activity books, educational books. And also, I'm going to be creating the candles and all of this, the other accessories that will complement the book and the recipe book. And yet, like, trust me, I am doing my thing. I am on my goals. But with his business, he begged me because he specializes and he knows a lot about the product. And he was trying to sell it to me. Oh, look, we can get the equipment, we can put it here, we can do this, and you can do this part because you know blah blah blah, and I'll do this part. And so I started getting things together because he takes me to a home improvement store and he's filling up the cart. Yeah, he didn't tell me he didn't have any money. He didn't tell me he didn't have part of the money. He didn't tell me that I had to spend over $2,000 to get the business started. But then 3 to 4 months, maybe 5 months later, because I know it's around 3 months because it takes about 3 months for the product to, the first batch of product to develop. So, but yeah, he came up to me. I remember we were in the kitchen and I was stocking up an order and everything. And that's when he told me, yeah, we're going to quit this. We're going to stop, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, but what about my money? Because I put that on my credit card because I was still trying to get my life back in order. And I was still, let's just say, a whole lot of stuff was going on at the same time. But and he knew I had my credit card because at first I remember when he told me to get it, I was like, I don't have that much on my debit card. He was like, but you have credit cards. But I'm gonna need, yeah, because I was umming up a storm in the line because I'm just like, okay, how are you gonna put me in that situation? How are you gonna put me in this, like, and then right in the line, trying to embarrass me, the cashier, everybody's looking at me. He didn't care. He didn't care. And so it's paid off. He didn't pay a dime of it, but he got money from the orders. I gave him money for the orders, but I probably should have kept it all until his part was paid off. I didn't know, like, I didn't know he was going to be that grimy. He always told me he loves making other people's lives miserable. And I remember the first time he said that, I looked at him, I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you, like, I was like, and I thought maybe he was kidding, but then throughout the years I started realizing no, he means it. He means it. He wants to make your life as miserable as possible because his life is so awful, miserable, and he calls his own daughter's mistakes at least 8 times. That since he is living a miserable life, he wants to make everyone else's life as miserable as possible. Because it's the same man who refused to go to my mother's funeral, refused to check up on me at the hospital with my surgery, after the surgery. I actually, I'm trying to remember the last time I heard his voice because, yeah, there's going to be a part 3 too one of the series I'm working on when, yeah, I'm getting to that point right now. But yeah, it's really sad when the person you're dating is actually trying to make your life miserable while you're the one loaning them gas money, paying for food to feed his daughters because you forgot to pay the light bill and the heat bill, like loaning money because his vehicle got repossessed week after week. Like he's spending money on 420 and like smoking stuff or whatever. All and that, or he goes to sleep at 11, but he tells me at 9 or 10 o'clock, I don't have enough money for the week to get to work. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, idiot. What? Before you buy all of your recreational, all of the things you have fun doing, because you have kids. Since you have kids, you should think of the kids first. But since you're dating me, you it's like, and you know I never want your daughters to think of you as a deadbeat dad, even though technically he would be a deadbeat dad if it was not for me. It's like even at a camping trip, he forced me to go. I did not want to go, but he told me that he was going to tell if I didn't go because he didn't have a dime to his name, so he needed my credit cards. I was going to call the credit card company and see if I can get like for put him as a guest for 2 weeks where he can use the card, pay me back. We can make a contract or whatever have you. And he was like, no, no, that'll be embarrassing. My name won't be on the card. And I was like, you're gonna walk in with my card and your name's not gonna be on it. What's the difference? What's the difference? Oh well, no, it's like my mom might wonder what's going. I was like, okay, well, say it's your card. I don't like what. Oh well, she's gonna be really disappointed that you're not gonna be there. Everyone else is gonna be there. You need to show up. Like he, but every time I got a new, either I was working 2 or 3 jobs, so when I got the jobs, he was upset. When I started writing my novel, he didn't think I was gonna finish. At first, he was like, "Ha ha ha, whatever." Then I finished it. Then he refused to read it. He refused to read it. He told me, "I'm only gonna read it if you publish it." Okay. Yeah. He didn't realize how pet like I am so nice and bubbly and giddy. If I like sometimes when, especially if I'm with my friend around my friends and their little kids or whatever, is like with My Little Pony, sometimes if I'm gonna describe myself to the kids, I tell them I'm a combination of Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy. But then I say, but then to the parents or whatever, I'm like, yeah, but I have a petty side. I was like, which one was the petty My Little Pony? If you guys know which one was the petty My Little Pony, it's like, can you put that in the in the description or the messages or whatever? So, but yeah, let's just say, oh, like he'll never read my book because he's gonna hate that I'm publishing. I mean, he looks up his ex-wife on a like at least when I was with him. I won't say constantly, but on a regular basis. He told me it was to see if he can catch her doing something. No, you miss her. You love her. You like her. You care about her. And you hate that she cheated on you. You hate that she broke your heart. You hate that now you're back into the divorce system like both of your parents. And that's one of the reasons why you let your youngest daughter literally traumatize and A word me. Like, yeah, it's like if you knew how many times she would kick me, like, I, I lost count of how many times I ended up with bruises because that no, that no good little, like, I could talk, I have stories about her for days, but he allowed it. And he even told me, I have to love his daughters, but they don't have to like me. Okay, okay. I get, but you don't say I have to love them. You don't say I have to love them. You earn love. And then And it's really funny because this is this is why, like with Find Out, he says you judge somebody on their loyalty and character. Yeah, I do that. But while dating, I have found out that certain men, for some reason, they can't stand that I have so many goals and dreams and aspirations. And I have goals that I doubt that I'll be able to achieve everything, but I'm going to keep on going. But men who don't fit that list, because yeah, it's like the Republican, oh, that's a long list of reasons, but even Republican Christian men, oh my gosh, yes. You're supposed to stay at home. You're supposed to be submissive. Your job is to take care of the kids. You need to take care of the house. And a lot of them are the ones who say, who wants a smart woman? The Republican Christian man. So I have a right to know who I'm compatible with. I have a right to know who I should be dating. I have a right to know what type of man will understand me. Because, like, this fool says, judge by loyalty and character. Okay. Okay, boo boo, if that's all you're gonna do. But I need somebody who understands me on a political stance. Because with Mr. No Heart and Lockakey, Mr. Lockakey's grandmother went because Muhammad Ali movie was on with Will Smith, and she was saying how much of a fool Muhammad Ali is and how he's stupid and he's an embarrassment to the country. And I'm just looking, I'm like, excuse me? But then my ex started agreeing with her, and I am disgusted. And then he's like, "Why? How are you so upset?" He refused to fight a war. Yeah, what was going on during that war? What was going on with African Americans? What were my ancestors, my parents fighting for? And I was like, yeah, with segregation, Jim Crow, like all those laws and everything, you know, you know. So yeah, I remember he got upset at me that night because I was spitting facts. And then with Mr. No Heart, oh, he thought he was something. On the oops, it's gonna probably be a two-parter, but he thought he was something because he started bragging about he at his school he never studied African American history. At his school, they never practiced or celebrated African American Month because his school had like K through 12, three people of color. And I think they might have been Samoan or Hawaiian or something. But yeah, he was bragging that you can count how many people of color on one hand, K through 12. And how that means they never had to study about any of them. And I remember I was like, who's them? And isn't Black history American history? Doesn't history show you and like how things happened and how things are today, cause and effect? Because if you don't teach about the enslavement, Jim Crow, segregation, and then like even education, because how like that when I brought up how come people keep saying the historically black colleges and university is racist, and then he had the nerve to say it is. I'm like, okay, why were they built? Why were they created? And he kind of looked at me with like deer in headlights because African Americans weren't allowed at the other schools. So they built colleges and universities so they had a place to learn and to be able to get quality higher education. And he kind of got mad at me. And I'm like, yeah, but they don't teach you that in school. So that's how you stay ignorant. And that's how you have the nerve to say that it's racist. It's cause and effect. We have historically black colleges and universities because of the racism, hatred, bigotry from our past. And it gets exhausting. And that's one reason I need a liberal, Democrat, progressive guy. I don't care what race. And it's like a lot of black men, oh, you're supposed to date black. You're supposed to date. Oh, tell that to all these basketball players. Tell that to all these rich athletes, actors, and everything. Okay, it's like, tell them, tell them. Okay, because, they didn't get they didn't get the memo. They didn't get the memo. And so it's like this guy has the nerve to try to tell me to get a hobby, which I think starting a business is a great hobby. Writing is a great hobby. Reading is a great hobby. Watching anime is a great hobby. And doing YouTube, trust me, it's a fun activity where I get to spill my tea and show the ignorance of these no good fools. And yes, it's like I am of a higher age and I have learned what my type is, what qualities I want in a man. And men who normally don't follow those are either intimidated or they try to stop me or they try to demean me or they try to tell me I'm worthless or just to the point where why would I ever want to be in a relationship like that again? Mr. Lockakey and Mr. No Heart. And then even guys after, because at first I said, okay, maybe it's just them. But then during COVID, talking to guys, oh yeah, I'm just working on a project. Oh, what's your project? Oh, well, I'm writing my novels. I'm getting my business together. Ugh, what? You're trying to start a business? No, no one's gonna care about a woman. Nah, dude, don't start a business. Excuse me? No, it's like that's not for you. Don't do that. Do you know how many? I mean, I can go on and on, so I'll save that for the part two. But do you know how many men, like, and that's one reason why I just say I'm working on projects, and men want to know what the projects are, but I'm like, no, no. And yes, maybe I should tell them so I know if I'm wasting my time or not. But I'm trying to see, can I get to know them enough where maybe they can look past it? Because I've had so many men, once I say, talk about my goals, my dreams, the business, and everything, no, and then my disability is either my education, my goals, or my disability. Those are mainly the three reasons, or my political stance. Politics is a big deal for me. And a lot of men, oh, voting is stupid. Voting is dumb. Okay, but I'm running out of time. But before I finish, what gives this man the right? Like, because a lot of these men, like 98% of these men, or 90, probably 99%, I have never written before. No contact, no communication, nothing at all. These men write me and they hate my standards. They hate my standards, but they have to realize, just like with history, my dating life has caused cause and effect. I used to be more like open minded, but do you know how many men who were in prison who I gave a second chance to just to try to put me in really bad situations? Do you know how many? And then do you know how many men who don't have higher education, either a trade certification or a degree? Do you know how many of them tell me that I better drop out or I better quit or I wasted my money or it was stupid of me or my job is to have kids or I'm selfish because I'd rather have my education than children? Mm-hmm. And then me wanting to adopt. Oh, that's stupid of you. Why would anyone want to adopt? Those aren't your kids, those are leftovers. Who would ever want them? I'm not wasting my time and money on kids that aren't mine. But this guy is telling me to get a hobby. But if I date somebody, marry some, like, no, I need somebody who's in the same boat. And that's why with this fool, he to me is a idiotic, ignorant fool. Because if I don't have those things in common, that means there's going to be arguments in the house because I'm going to adopt either way. And so either it's going to be a divorce or something. Yeah. And some people, that's not Christianly. Skip that. That's one reason why I'm creating these standards. So the guy knows what I'm about. I love and enjoy deep conversations, watching documentaries, anime, almost anything animated and like things like that. I love reading. I love going to museums and like escape rooms and things like that. It's like actually one of my goals is like I want to start going to all of the escape rooms in the area and try to see if I can solve them all. But so it's like I have my hobbies, I have my interests, but I also know the type of man I want, the type of man I deserve. And I don't know if I should feel bad for him because he probably doesn't know the type of woman that would make him happy. He just knows that he wants to sleep with somebody. He only knows that he wants physical interaction and that's it. That's all that's going to make him happy. He might be loyal to that person, but he's going to be happy with that person. Loyalty and happiness are two different things. Because when you get old and the beauty wipes away, when you have to start putting false teeth in everything like that, are you going to be sitting next to someone you love, adore, and smile and be happy with, or just someone you've been loyal to? Are you going to be like happy that this is the person that you get to spend every single day until your last breath? Or are you going to just be like, I tolerated them, I was loyal to them, but we have nothing in common? It's like they don't want to read, they don't want to watch a documentary. And then even with the kids, it's like they if they don't want to treat that child like they're theirs, I don't have time for them. So, because I remember talking with one guy, he was like, well, if you adopt, you're going to have to buy the Christmas presents. I'm not spending money on kids that aren't mine. He said that. He was like, why am I going to waste my money on some other man's kids? So, yeah, there's going to be a part two because I have so much on this. But if you ever hear from a fool like this, an idiot like this, an ignorant, naive, run. Run like you're in a college track meet. If you have a disability, figure out like, because yeah, I'll probably be on my scooter putting it all the way on high speed. No, no, and no. This is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. And if you ever hear from fools like this, run. Run like you are a sprinter in the Olympics. Run.